Jane has had a passion for mortarboard forever. She has lived the life. She even started out in elementary school, skipping a couple of grades, so her scholarship is amazing. Her service is beyond compare. If you are an individual who needs help or an organization, she is always there to lend not one hand but two. But it's her leadership I want to talk about today. You see, I went out to dinner with Jane and my father-in-law, and as I walked out to the car afterwards, I thought, oh my goodness, I believe I've just become an interim SC for mortarboard. It was a wonderful experience. She created beautiful mortarboard memories for me. And I think she's probably done the same thing for many people in mortarboard, using that skill to recruit, using the skill to lead. Jane, thank you for sharing your passion for mortarboard with all of us.
Jane, what an amazing legacy. You have done so much for so many people for such a long time. I feel touched and honored that I first met you at Purdue University, where you were helping various students on a number of programs and concerns, and you were such a leader, and then you just continued that as the executive director of mortarboard. And Jane, I just find that you have a resilience, a fortitude. You are so open to others' feedback because you care about serving a higher purpose. And it's just been my joy to watch you over these years and to participate more deeply with mortarboard. Jane, I think you're a phenomenal human being. I'm so glad to call you a friend, and thank you for all you've done through mortarboard at Purdue University and well beyond. Take care.
Hi, Jane. What an honor it is to contribute a video to commemorate your retirement from mortarboard. I can vividly remember walking into the Dean of Students' office at Purdue University many years ago now, to find you there, enthusiastic and ready to mentor me, sometimes in ways in which you didn't even realize you were mentoring me at the time. Later, when I was tapped into mortarboard and elected chapter president, I got to work with you on a very regular basis. What a treat it has been to learn from you. Jane, you know how to develop leaders. You build them up and empower them. You teach them accountability, and you do it all with patience and a genuine, nurturing spirit. So many organizations have benefited from your involvement with them. So many individuals have benefited from your involvement in their lives. On behalf of all of them, and especially on behalf of myself, I want to express my appreciation. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your hard work. Now, go and enjoy your retirement, and know that we will all miss you, but that we will all still see you around.
I was initiated into the Barbara Cook chapter at Purdue University in 1997, and that really began my affinity and love for mortarboard. Prior to that, though, I actually met Jane Hamblin when we knew her as Dean H as an undergraduate student at Purdue. My first encounter with Jane was at the Emily Mozzie Vogel Sophomore Leadership Development Conference in 1995. I remember Jane being there in her associate dean role, and I also recall her, I think she had a bad perm, as well as these amazing neon patterned pajama pants. It was definitely a unique look. But all things aside, getting to know Jane was a huge part of my undergraduate experience, and really encouraged me to consider higher education as a career. Fast forward several years, through Jane's support of my master's degree and first professional positions, I had the opportunity, serving as a national leader with mortarboard, to be on the search committee for an executive director. I can remember serving with Katie Chick and Jane Beyer and saying, this is the person that we need to hire. This is the person who will steer mortarboard and keep us going. As we went forward and hired Jane, she really took mortarboard to the next level in terms of professionalism. She loved her style guide. We differ on our opinions of the Oxford comma, but that's okay. But what she really did is show her love for mortarboard in advancing the society, and especially advancing the status of women in all areas.
Jane, congratulations on your retirement from the executive director position. I was the national president at the time that Mortarboard hired Jane, so I worked very, very closely with her on her offer and getting her started. I had just taken over as national president, and one of my fondest memories of Jane is really the conversations that we had on a weekly basis to talk about Mortarboard and think about the future of the organization. We started a strategic planning process with the organization and started to be thinking a lot about the centennial in 2018. So this was about 9 years before that. Jane, I always appreciated your leadership, your mentorship, and your support with the roles that I had in Mortarboard. And thank you for everything that you have done for this organization.
I just want to take a moment to express my gratitude to Jane for her outstanding leadership and really to thank her for all that she's done for Mortarboard. What I really appreciate about Jane is her knowledge of our society. When she first started as executive director, she knew a lot about Mortarboard, of course, but she really took the time to learn about our policies and our practices and about our people and about our wide array of chapters across the country. And so she was always able to be a tremendous resource to us as national leaders, and I've always really appreciated that. And then another thing that I think is phenomenal about Jane's leadership is her passion for Mortarboard. And everything she did for Mortarboard was grounded in that passion. And so I'm really grateful for all of her contributions, and I wish her the best of luck in the future. Thanks so much, Jane.
I am so honored to be part of this tribute to you, Jane. I'm so happy for you. You have been wonderful for Mortarboard. Have lots of memories. I loved it when I came to Columbus and got to stay at your home. That was really nice. We drank a little wine, we went to Jenny's, and you took me to the rec center at Ohio State, and we got on a treadmill and watched a movie. Never been on a treadmill that long in my life, and I didn't think we were ever going to get to the office, but we got there on time because you start your day early. And then you came to Alabama and we got to host you, and that was wonderful. We loved introducing you to all the Mortarboarders around here at the University of Alabama. But my most favorite memory will have to be when you broke the rules. When you let me know that the University of Alabama chapter was winning the Ruth Weinermount Award. I was not coming that year because my husband was in hospice, but you knew how important it would be for me to be there, how I would feel about it. And Martha and Glenn and I drove up one day to Indianapolis for that one night for the banquet, and then we turned around and came home the next day. Thank you for that. It's one of the best things of my life, and you're the reason that I got to be there. You're going to rock retirement and love it. Congratulations.
Jane, what can I say? For almost 30 years, you have been a mentor, a colleague, and a friend. You taught me how to run an effective meeting, how to work collaboratively with other leaders, and how to always accept opportunities that come my way. More importantly, you've brought such joy and friendship to my life. Whether it's getting you to go to Breakfast Club at Purdue, or drinking Liney's by the lake, or you simply listening to my latest work crisis, you always know how to make me laugh, provide me with much needed guidance, and help me see things in a new perspective. You've been such an important part of my life, and I know that you will continue to be so. Thank you for everything that you have done for Mortarboard, and I look forward to our continued adventures together.
Jane, congratulations on your retirement. It is something to be celebrated. I am so happy that I've had the chance to work with you since you first interviewed to be our executive director many years ago. It was my first big national leadership opportunity to be on that search committee and introduced me to what it takes to be a national leader in Mortarboard. I've been with you on a journey as a section coordinator, as a strategic plan keeper with you, me, and Bridget, many hours on that Excel spreadsheet trying to keep our strategic plan alive and well, to getting a chance to become a charter member of the MBAA and an ambassador for that program, being on national council together. And I just want to thank you for your encouragement and support over the years. I would not be where I am today as president-elect, stepping into the president role this weekend at conference without your encouragement, without your support. And I do appreciate how often when you see a spark in someone, you nudge us and push us to take that next step and to light the world on fire. Enjoy your retirement. I know we'll keep in touch, and I wish you the best.
Hi, Jane. I'm really glad that we had this opportunity to share a memory when we were working together. It all started when the Centennial campaign was completed and we were recognizing major donors when it was announced that our colleagues had honored Sally Wadlington and me with a $10,000 endowment. We were given the privilege of identifying how the annual distribution would be, and we were a little puzzled at that point what that might be. When I asked you what you had in mind, you always wanted to do something but never had the money to do it. And you very calmly said to me, Marty, you remember alums get recognition with the alumni awards. Chapters get recognition with chapter awards, but there is no award for an individual collegiate member for extraordinary achievement. That really resonated with Sally and me. And so the Starlington Prize was created. We are very pleased to have been a part of this and know that this award that the three of us worked together to develop is now available for up to 4 students for the rest of Mortarboard's history.
When Marty Starling first asked me to become president of Mortarboard, one of my first questions was, will Jane Hamblin still be around? Because not only did Jane put together this amazing history of Mortarboard for our centennial, but she is a walking treasure trove of the history of Mortarboard. She can recount conversations that happened even before her tenure as our chief executive. And it has been this amazing grasp of our history, of our precedent, and of the way we should work that really has helped Mortarboard survive and thrive during these challenging times where we've had to be so creative and resilient. I really appreciate the collaboration with Jane. I appreciate her dedication and love for Mortarboard, and I appreciate her amazingly strong work ethic to do good for our organization that will put us in a great position for our next century. Thank you, Jane.
It's my very great honor and pleasure to recognize Jane Hamblin for her work and leadership in conducting the Foundation's Centennial Campaign leading up to the celebration of 100 years celebrated in 2018. By the time of the celebration in 2018, we had reached $1.4 million in endowed funds. By the end of 2020, the number of endowment funds had grown significantly, starting with 11 funds valued at $855,000 and growing to 51 funds with a value of $2.5 million at the end of 2020. In April of 2021, the investment portfolio exceeded $3 million for the first time in our history. None of this would have happened without a great deal of work by Jane and her staff. It was truly a team effort which has helped launch Mortarboard into its second century.
My very first experience meeting Jane was my very first day on the job as an advisor, and it was at the 100th anniversary celebration at the Mortarboard National Conference. And right from the start, Jane made me feel welcome. She set the bar incredibly high for the organization and for my involvement in the organization. And from that day, I knew that it was going to be special to be part of Mortarboard. Jane is always willing to take an email, to take a phone call. She never made me feel like I was a bother. She was always gracious, thankful. She's a person who shows gratitude in a way that is second to none. She also has a gift for connecting people's talents with the needs of the organization, as I myself experienced through her invitation to be part of LEAD, and saw her do countless times and times again with varying roles throughout the organization. Jane, thank you. Thank you for your service to Mortarboard. Thank you for serving as a mentor to me, and best of luck as you enter all that is next for you. Thank you, Jane.
I recall our first meeting in the Mortar Board offices in Columbus when you were a candidate for the role of executive director, and I had the honor to serve as the chairperson for the search committee that brought you into Mortar Board. I needed to quickly adapt to becoming known as Jane B., since deservedly from day one, you became the main Jane. In the ensuing years, serving on the National Council, I came to quickly appreciate your many leadership qualities. Amongst them, your diligence, your attention to detail, and above all else, your passion and commitment for Mortar Board. It was abundantly clear we had made the right choice in our decision to bring you on to lead Mortar Board through a dozen years of growth and transition. I recall many council meetings and national conferences with you at the helm, but perhaps none stands out as much as the year in which you and your team had to quickly pivot and within a little more than a day move the conference from one hotel location to another. In doing so, you definitely demonstrated leadership in a near-crisis situation. As you head toward retirement and the next chapter of your life, I undoubtedly join with so many others to wish you nothing but the best in whatever lies ahead. It goes without saying that I hope we can stay in touch. And again, thank you for a job well done.
Congratulations on your retirement, Jane. We've been friends for such a long time now. Could it really be over 40 years? Oh, for them, it really has been that long. For those of you who haven't known Jane for quite that long, please know that Mortar Board has been a vital part of her life for 48 years since her initiation at Purdue. And because it is a part of her life, it becomes a part of yours. To know Jane is to know about Mortar Board. Very rare are the people who have invested so freely and so lovingly in Mortar Board. While Mortar Board will continue to be a vital part of your life, Jane, you can now spend more time at the farm, more time on the beach, and more time at the lake. And your buddy Alan is really looking forward to hanging out with you. Thank you for your dedication to Mortar Board, your passion for excellence, and for helping all of us learn how to have some fun while working hard. Congratulations!
I can't say enough how much I've learned from Jane. She's been a friend, a mentor, that person you could call any time of the day and say, hey, I need help. Now, one of the things with Jane, though, she always tells me that I drink too much Diet Coke. So for today, Jane, I'm going to just say toast to you. Jane prefers red. I'm more of a Chardonnay person myself, but Jane and I have shared many glasses of wine together and contemplated the future, but most importantly, I just want to wish Jane the best in her retirement. I do need to add that in 2013, when Julie Edelman received the Alumni Achievement Award and coordinated a tribute to Jane, it took a while for Jane to forgive us. I'm not sure if she really ever did, so I'm hoping this video is well received and she knows how much we all love her and are proud to be in her fan club. Thanks, Jane, for your dedication and commitment to Mortar Board.